Yeah, Broadway is back.
Finally. It's been way too long.
Yeah.
I have an idea. Let's catch a musical.
Babe, that's an awesome idea.
How about this one?
Now that one's got a great cast, but the music, I wasn't feeling it.
How about that one?
Now that one's got an amazing choreographer, awesome spectacle, but I don't know, the music just didn't do it for me.
I got it. Rock of Ages.
Now that's a great show, but that lead guy, not so much. You know what? I got a great idea.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to the Temple of Doom
Stop.
with the Virgin Mary and Joseph.
We are on day 2 of our Halloween week, brought to you by all of the producers at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Yesterday was villains and superheroes. Today is famous dead people. Who are you at the moment?
Joseph.
You're Joseph, to go with my Mary.
And I got the 13 bits of coin silver.
It's amazing what you can find in our studio, isn't it?
I am so shocked. This thing is the hairiest thing I've ever had on my face.
I think every time someone walks in and they look at me, I'm freaking them out.
You are.
There you go. Everyone, except Lucky. Lucky wasn't so freaked out. You're a little freak.
She told me. She says she's going to church.
You're going to confession?
The problem here is that you got to go to
church.
confession.
I think you feel like you need to go to confession.
No, I need to go to a barber.
Create the Gillette razor.
Create the Gillette razor. Now, what is our producer, Mr. Slick? What is he today?
I think he's Muhammad Ali for the 12 o'clock. This morning he was Mac Miller. He was Ariana Grande's late boyfriend. And I think for the afternoon he's putting on his boxing gloves. Boom. Boom. And he's going to be Muhammad Ali.
So nobody knows what he is.
What are you talking about, he says.
Who are you?
He was Mac Miller, and now he's Muhammad Ali.
He's Matt Miller.
Mac Miller, and now he's Muhammad Ali.
I gotta tell you. Now, have you noticed? In order to share your show out on Facebook, you have to do it slowly.
Slowly.
You can't share it all out at once.
I'm loving the whole outfit. You're like a cross between Joseph, Moses,
And osmosis.
Moses Jones. Say good morning to Mom. Hey, Mom, how are you doing? I have not seen her in a while, so she's getting a good dose of us right here. We got a great show lined up for you today. I did not give our attorney the memo. Estate planning. It's kind of perfect, right? If we had done our estate planning back in the day, imagine where we'd be right now for our legacy.
4 cattles for a pigeon.
We've got Justin Mooney, Esquire, joining us today from HHK Attorneys. We also have Torrye Wells joining us from Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. We're talking about butter. And of course, we've got Matchmaker.uk, Lara Besbrode, joining us. She's got someone actually to introduce one of our guests from last week to, so that'll be an interesting.
Did you pass the memo today about how we're dressed? Because I see people running out of here.
No, I did not. I guess I should give them a warning on who we are and what we're doing. Justin's the only one in-house. Everyone else is virtual from around the world. So
well, he ran out of here.
He'll be back.
He said this is an asylum.
How was your morning? How was everything going for you?
Pretty good. We are going to take Miss 1-800-LUCKY. She's actually doing fuego, and she came in here and prepared her computer. Are there like pieces hanging off me?
Your beard is hanging.
Oh my God. And she came in here, she fixed her laptop, which she's going to be doing things from all over.
All right.
And we got that done, and I spoke to a couple of other clients trying to get those things. A lot of things up in the air.
Did you talk to London?
Yes.
How'd that
I don't
go?
understand why we had that conversation.
But it was a conversation.
We're going to hook up with the guy in London who does the same thing we do. And we're going to cross promote.
Very cool.
So he's going to help us put things out there from
You want to go to London for our birthdays?
Well, now I found out that Lucky does 1-800-GO.
Exactly.
Did you know that?
I did not know what it was called, nor did I know that she did that, but there's a great
do you know
event.
what that is?
It's a travel agency, I think.
It's an app that will
okay.
teach you how to become a travel agent. It's a side hustle.
Not an easy business right now after the pandemic, although right now no business is easy.
It's
except
easy.
The Closet Company told me they were having a good time right now. But
you have a closet company?
No, March 24th is actually the premiere of the Mario Lanza story. in London. So I'm excited to share this with our UK correspondents. We're going to tell Laura about it. We're going to tell Tony about it tomorrow.
The what?
Mario Lanza show.
What is that?
Mario Lanza is a famous singer, actor.
Oh, that's
the
Barry's
show,
friend.
correct.
That's why I took the phone call
So
about.
that's really
Yeah, but you see,
slick.
you made me take the back end of the phone call.
because I was running a slick show.
But I didn't even know the front end, so we were talking technical.
You do the technical side of it.
They're streaming it.
So that'll be exciting. So that's March 24th in London, which is kind of cool. So maybe we can
They're doing the
leaving on a
pay-per-view.
jet plane. It'll be kind of cool.
We're leaving on a jet
You
plane
want to go to London in March?
to see the event live.
Yes.
Well, he's gonna have to get me a ticket because those tickets are going fast
To the concert, to the show, or to the plane?
to the show.
And we'll see what happens
I
with
don't
that.
think you can fly to London yet.
I think our president is opening up European travel.
Is it open?
I don't know if it's open yet, but I have heard. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. We're having some Halloween fun. Tomorrow, if you are a guest on our show, tomorrow is midweek scaries. Thursday is game day, so your favorite jersey or game board piece. I guess it could be anything, which leads me to 2020 The Game, which we're giving out a free game tonight live on WWNN.
At what time are we doing
You
that?
could go as a game piece at 7 o'clock on WWNN. We have a great guest joining us. We've got Julie Weidenfeld joining us tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to give out 2020 The Game, which will be a whole lot of fun.
I'm going as a game piece.
On Thursday, it's game day, so you can be a jersey of your favorite game, football, basketball
tomorrow?
player. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Midweek scaries. I'm coming in with no makeup. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that to anyone.
Midweek scaries. What is that?
Scary things.
Really?
Ooh, yeah.
I didn't get the memo. I was instructed to do something tomorrow.
Just be yourself, he says.
Wow.
And Friday is your favorite decade day. We've actually been asked if Friday was our Halloween costume show by some of our guests. So yes, please come in a costume. Any day this week that you're going to join us in studio, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Before we get going on our interviews, though, we need to do our mini donut contest.
But let's do it with him.
He's not sitting down here right now. Is Justin in the house? We can certainly do that with Justin. People are wanting to
Justin,
know.
come. Sit. Sit over there.
All
Pardon
right,
our appearance.
Adrian, I did not have blue. The closest I had was like
Over there.
teal. So she said, Adrian tells me, yes, I've got my eye patch mug. I look more like Mother Teresa than Mary. I'll go with Mother Teresa also. Either way, these women are incredibly powerfully great women.
If I show you a picture, you would say it is Mary. I mean, it's scary. That picture you showed
I'm
us in
freaking
Slick.
you out.
No, it was funny because when Slick walked in this morning,
I did not have my head covering on.
I had the music,
Yes, you did.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
And he came in and he saw you and he went, he didn't know what to say. I mean, what can you say about this getup you got going?
It's amazing what you can find in your closet when you actually put some pieces together. Homemade costumes. Yes, and I do have my eye patch Echo mug. Adrian, thanks for tuning in. Freddie had his Princess Maya mug. He was using that yesterday. Your mug's over on the other side of the room. But we're going to do the mini donut game with Justin. I think that's a great idea. If you want to play along at home, you can always write in your answer, or you can give us a call always at 888-994-4995. Studio A, say hi to Muhammad Ali when he answers the phone. Speaking of which, I think we have a surprise guest coming in on Thursday, don't we?
Who?
Mama Ali. We're going to
Okay.
see.
She said she was coming.
Fingers crossed. We have not seen Mama Ali in, I think, 2 years since COVID started. A year and a half
She
anyway.
made a movie and she wrote a book. And she's coming here to talk about the book.
Really exciting.
So I said to her, no, you're coming here to talk about the movie. She said, no, Freddie, I got to talk about the book. I said, oh, boy.
Longtime friend of ours. We have not seen her. It's been a good year and a half, maybe more.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I got to tell you. It's been a minute. But she's nice, pretty people.
She's great, people.
I said, you forgot about me? She said, no, I never forgot about you. And she goes, what's your name again?
All right, let's play our mini donut game before we go to commercial break and come back and talk to Justin. So you want to play the mini donut game with us?
Sure.
All right.
Justin, there are 2 boxes here.
Yeah.
Label 1 and 2. It's really easy. You get to pick one. We get to keep the other one.
All right, I'll pick 2.
Okay, so let's see what you didn't pick in numero uno. Wow, the first thing he didn't
Where did
pick.
you get all this good stuff from?
It's just that's the name of the game. And that, I'm going to part the seeds. This is a $10 gift certificate to
Mini Donut World.
Mini Donut World. And we have a power bank light for thunderstorm. So that this goes on with the sun, it charges, and you always have light. Let there be light.
This segment brought to you by Mini Donut World. I think it would be great to add. I might have a Halloween party this week. You want to come if I have a Halloween party?
Do I got to come dressed like this?
No, you can come dressed. You know the great thing about you? You're like this great character actor. You can be anyone. You put your hat on, you put like a little plastic gun, and you're like Al Capone. You could be the Godfather with the ring on your finger. You could be Moses or Joseph all rolled into one.
What the hell did you drink?
If you put on your glasses and take off your beard, you could be Benjamin Franklin. Like, you are this diverse.
Chameleon.
Am I right? He's a chameleon. You could be anyone.
I feel like a giant Q-tip.
And apparently I'm doing this. I could be Mary or Mother Teresa.
I'm a Q-tip. That's what I am. And what we have here is a free bag of popcorn and 2 tickets to the Movies of Del Rey movie theater.
Fantastic.
So congratulations. I'll give you this. And we'll go from there.
2 free tickets to the movies of Del Rey or the movies of Lake Worth. You know, he's young, newly married, baby on the way.
He is?
Bet they could use 2 free tickets to the movies, huh?
I should have gave him the candles. Because you got a lot going on there, my friend.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
got a lot going on. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Justin Mooney of HH&K, Hinman, Howard, and Cattell Attorneys at Law. So more to come. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Wow.
Amp Media Productions and WNN Money Talk Radio have been in conjoint business for 10 years. They've been working around the clock, nonstop, to promote over 500 shows and businesses with added platforms such as social media live streaming, podcasts, and the specialty of live radio. To amplify your impact and start your show today, contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions, expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay. Her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444.
Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Tú quieres ser mi amigo. No puedo estar contigo. Porque cuando te vi, mi pobre corazón.
Because doing it that way is a little confusing. Okay, and we're back.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Brooklyn Cafe on our Halloween week. We're having a whole lot of fun here with your host, Dawn and Freddie S.
I think I'm going to turn this into my crystal ball.
And what do you see?
I see Slick's future, very bleak.
I'm glad Slick is here. Slick is taking care of everything for us, running today. Congratulations to all the graduates at FAU. Today is finally walking day for those that graduated last December.
Where are they walking?
They're walking. They have their commencement ceremony today.
Where? They're going to
At
walk to
FAU.
Miami? Where are they going to walk?
I guess in the auditorium at FAU.
They're going to walk in the auditorium? Really?
Yep, so Valerie is walking at graduation and JP is at graduation.
Do they have the cap and gown and all
Yeah.
that? And nobody invited us?
Apparently not.
Wow.
So congratulations to all of those students and all of our interns, producers that are finally getting to walk across the stage today.
Wow, I'm shocked.
So I'm excited. We've got Justin Mooney joining us for this week's episode of Ask Your Attorney. No, that's really not the name of the episode, but it could be, right? It could be kind of cool. Of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell joining us. So welcome back, Justin.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Whole lot to talk about. I've been texting Justin all weekend, so we thought it was kind of a perfect opportunity to come in because we talked last time you were here about wills and estates and different trusts.
Right.
But you do a whole lot more than that. I mean, what I'm finding is if you haven't put a will or your plans in place, Justin has a whole lot of information, even just for purposes of asset protection and things to place your money, different vehicles to protect money. So let's talk a little bit about what you do.
Right. So one of the things everyone always worries about is, am I protected? I think especially for estate planning purposes, what we see a lot more now is people planning for, dynasty trusts, generational wealth. When you die and the money goes outright to your children, if they get into a car accident or bad business deal or divorce, that money can be used for any of those claims. So one of the things we're seeing is a lot of people putting money in trust for the benefit of those kids, and it's something that isn't taken into account when going through lawsuits. There's one caveat: it's for spousal support and child support, but that's only when the person has no other assets. But if you have money in a dynasty trust, depending on how it's set up, and the kid gets into a car accident with 4 hand surgeons in the other car and they can't operate, it's vast majority of the time, if it's set up right, the doctors won't be able to get at that money, and it's going to be protected.
It's really interesting because there's so many carve-outs and caveats to estate planning and asset protection. We had talked last time you were here that the threshold now is 11.2 million.
Yeah, 11.7.
11.7, and that's what? So it changes the tax bracket, or?
No. So how it works is, a lot of the tax code, I had a great mentor that said, the whole purpose of the tax code is to change how people operate. It is a tool of social manipulation, for lack of a better word.
Facebook.
But basically the policy behind having this 11.7 is you want to encourage people to be wealthy, to be entrepreneurs, and if you're too wealthy, then you get taxed when you die for any amount over that. They want you to, it's mainly you don't want to be a hoarder of money. They want you to, spend all your money during your life or give it away, something like that. But basically, if you've hoarded enough wealth that is over $11.7 million, there's a tax of 40%. And it's actually scheduled to go back down to the rate that it was at prior to the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which I think it's going to happen in 2025. So in 2026, if you have 6 million or more, then you're going to be taxed at 40%. You know, but also there's a lot of people discussing changes with the administration that's currently in place, and maybe those changes will happen sooner than 2026. There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
That's what I heard. I was actually talking to somebody the other day, and apparently she comes from a very wealthy family.
Yeah.
And she said she cannot sell her parents' home because it's worth too much money. So I said, isn't there this 11.7
Yeah.
threshold? She says, well, that's per person, so they're really almost at like 25 million,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's like
for
23
maritable.
for married couples.
But then she still can't sell the house. So I'm like, okay, I can't get into that with you. But I can give you somebody to talk to
Yeah,
on
have her
that
call
one.
me.
But if she, why can't she sell the house? Because she's going to be
I
affected
guess
by
it would bring too much money in over the 25 million,
No.
23
So how it
million.
works is, you know, let's say you bought a house for $1, you know, 50 years ago, and the value of it now is $12 million. Even that, you know, built-in equity that you have of, you know, almost $12 million minus $1, it doesn't matter how much, you know, built-in gain, as we call it, you have. It's what the value is on the person's date of death. So I think what that person might be worried about is we have what's called a step up in basis. So if you bought stocks for $1, and on the date that you die, they're worth $100, and you sell, your estate sells them the next day, there's going to be no gain on it, because your basis, essentially the amount you paid for it, is going to be adjusted to what it was on the date of death. But the value of it's going to be counted into your estate tax. So there's a lot of moving parts when you have someone die. You have the estate tax, and then you have to look at income tax consequences for, usually you only have to worry about it for the appreciation after the person dies.
There's so many things, right?
Well, I was going to ask, if it's over 11.7,
Yeah,
it's 40% of that net worth.
yes.
If it's under there, then they're going to get you on the estate tax, and there's different percentages, I'm assuming, depending on.
No. So it's zero. If you die with $11.7 million this year,
Right.
then you'll pay zero in estate tax.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's the tax code has kind of a convoluted way of calculating your tax credit based on, you know, it looks at, if they were to tax you, if you had $11.7 million, the credit would be equal to what the tax is. So basically everyone just says 40% for everything over 11.7. Yeah,
So
it's-
11.7 is zero. Okay, so do they subtract if you owe money from that 11? Let's say you're at 12 million.
yeah,
So you're going to pay 40% because you're
Yeah.
over the threshold.
right,
But from the 11.7 to the 12, not on the full 12,
correct.
is the differential.
Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and then there's also, you know, if you have debts, that's going to be subtracted away. If you have a mortgage on a property, it's only going to be the equity. And also there's going to be costs to hire an attorney to probate your estate, sell certain assets, you know, pay all the advisors' fees at all the brokerage houses, that kind of thing.
Does the expenses you leave behind, is that subtracted from the net assets? And is
Yeah.
that the threshold they use?
Yeah, it's essentially your total net worth. You know,
Gotcha.
it's all of your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth.
Well,
And that's
that's
what they
That's
use
fun
as the
what you do.
measure.
Because if you can find all of these little crevices and it brings the number down, you look like a hero, man. They built you a statue.
But the really amazing thing about Justin is you've got your LLM and you're an attorney. So you're
Yes.
everything all sort of rolled up in one.
Yeah.
So you understand tax code, you understand the fiscal ramifications, plus the legal side of it. Instead of having to
Yes.
call your accountant and your attorney.
He
and
does both.
Exactly.
You know, and that's convenient because you bring in an attorney, accountant, all these other people, and everybody wants their pound of flesh. And
Yeah.
everybody wants to look smarter than everybody else.
Right.
You ever seen that? It's ridiculous. Okay, so stay there, don't say nothing, and then he speaks, and then this guy's interfering, and it becomes a giant cluster. You get nothing done.
Yeah.
So that is convenient, absolutely.
So that was my house yesterday. But so because I spoke with you a few weeks ago and we sold our house, So I got to put this money someplace.
Yeah.
So I told my husband, I said, we're setting up this account and doing this. I said, great, but you got to set it up in a way that it's asset protected from creditors, heaven forbid something happen.
Yeah.
And he went, well, I think we can do it this way. And I said, I think isn't a really good answer. So you really need to find out. Justin's going to come today and we're going to talk. So he called the wealth manager. He called the accountant. He called 4 people. And I said, just let me talk to Justin today. So let's talk about tenants by the entirety.
Yeah.
That's funds that are not, you can't separate funds. They're sort of a commingled situation.
Yeah, so tenants by the entirety is all about how property is titled. You have a lot of different ways to hold. Most of the time this comes up with real estate. You have tenants in common, which is just you and another person each own the property. You have joint tenants, which is somewhat similar, not a whole lot of difference. But the biggest thing is tenants by the entirety, which is a married couple owns a piece of property. And the biggest advantage to that is when you have a creditor or your spouse has a creditor, they can't take that property. The only way that asset can be seized is if you and your spouse each are sued by the same creditor for the same incident. So let's say you're driving and you get into a car accident and you have this $1 million rental property that you own with all this equity in it, but you and your husband own it, tenants by the entirety. They can't take that. The only way they could do that is if, your husband also hit them at the same time. I don't think it would happen. The one thing is in Florida, the owner of the car will also be deemed liable, so you shouldn't drive your spouse's car. So you have to be careful with that. So if
I was just going to ask you that, because if it's her car and I'm driving it, doesn't that commingle both people?
yeah, so that's the one thing, because Hulk Hogan, that happened, I think,
Yes.
with his son
Yes.
in Clearwater, was his son got into a car accident,
It was his
but
father's car.
the title was in Hulk Hogan's name.
Mhm.
So both of them were liable. So if you're married, well, actually, no, I'd always recommend don't drive a car that's not in your name and don't let anyone else drive your car.
You know,
Interesting.
that is a very powerful message, because my son doesn't understand that concept. And it isn't that you want to be a harner, but I was told this back in the day,
Yeah.
but I couldn't remember why until now. And he's just popping all these bells and whistles now. And he's 100% correct. And it also works backwards. If you're driving and somebody hits you,
Yeah.
and then they want to blame you for the accident, which I've seen people hit people in the back, and it was their fault. You get a whole cluster. The insurance people get involved. All
Yeah.
these people are just too many people. And that messes everything up. Like Chuck has 4 people he's listening to, and they're all going to tell him they're pound of flesh, which means that they want them to do it their way. And at the end of the day, he's going to give you one piece of advice that probably will resolve all 4 and then some.
So when people who have investments, right, if we talk about our living money versus our death money,
Right.
what's the best way to, is it the dynasty trust, but then does it need a trustee?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
the
so-
revocable trust, but then it still needs a trustee?
Yeah, so a revocable trust is not going to give you any asset protection. And in Florida, if you set up an irrevocable trust for your own benefit, you're not going to get any protection either. There's a few states, 3 of the most common ones that are used are Nevada, South Dakota, and Alaska. They have what's called self-settled, which means you set it up yourself, domestic asset protection trust. So essentially you put, $10 million into this trust, and then if something happens, there's all statute of limitations between 6 and 2 years. So if something happens before that runs out, it's not protected. The problem with those is that you have to have a trustee in those states managing those assets, and that just adds an additional cost. I've had clients ask me, how do I protect this money? And sometimes it's between 50 to 100,000. It's not really worth it to set up that type of a trust. What I would recommend is there's a lot of ways to protect your investment. If you do, like rental properties, a common thing that I see is one spouse buys a rental property and they put it into an LLC, but they also pay for it getting a loan from the other spouse who set up an LLC. And you essentially protect the equity in that property. It's called equity stripping. So basically, it's a way to invest in a property and protect any equity you have in it from the cash. So if someone gets injured on the property that you own, they're going to sue you. But then your husband, if he loaned you the money through his company, he's first in line. So they can't supersede him as a creditor.
It gets complicated, right?
No, that's interesting.
You
You
like
can
that.
set it up that way.
Yeah.
You like that?
Oh my God, this is a brilliant move.
Yeah, and I recommend if you're doing any kind of business, the minimum is setting up an LLC. It's not gonna change how you file your taxes. It's just gonna still be on your Schedule C with your 1040. You're not gonna have to, file as a partnership or a corporation.
Which is a whole other kettle of fish when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's advantages there that are pretty complex, but at the end of the day, what the LLC does is it provides you liability. So if you bought a property and you put it into an LLC, if someone gets injured on that property, the most they can do is take the whole property. Whereas if you just own that property by yourself, they could take all of your assets.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now I got a question. If a piece of property is worth $200,000,
Yeah.
you're not going to open up a trust to protect $200,000, or you do? If you want to put the house in a trust.
Well, so is it going to be your homestead or is it a rental property?
It's a homestead.
No, so you wouldn't, with your homestead in Florida, you have that protection of, if you're in a municipality, you have a house on a half acre, then any amount, no matter how valuable the house is, it cannot be subject to a forced sale. There's 3 caveats to that being for the payment of tax, your mortgage, and for a handyman lien. But anything else than that, if you have a $10 million homestead that's on a half acre in a city and someone sues you, they're not going to be able to get anything from that house.
From the house.
Because Florida has this public policy that it promotes, and it basically doesn't want people to be destitute and thrown out of their house and then become wards of the state. And it promotes, the stability of the government and the stability of its citizens by having that in the Constitution of Florida.
Yeah, because you know where you're going to have to end up. Now, suppose it's a rental, and you want to protect the house. But the caveat I want to ask you, it started at $100,000.
Yeah.
5 years later, this house is now worth $10 million because of what's going on right now. It's just a wacky number.
Yeah.
Where you didn't think about protecting it here, you should protect it now.
Yeah, you can always put it into, a trust at some point. It might be, if you want to protect it, you might not be able to protect it and still retain some benefit. You might have to gift it to whoever your ultimate heirs are. But if you put it into an LLC at the beginning, and at least that protects you from people getting injured on your property. But yeah, later on in life, if it increases substantially in value, then you should definitely look at putting it into, potentially a trust.
You want to protect the assets. He should do seminars. This information you're giving,
You're right.
it's
That's a good idea.
you think about this, but what's going on right now with the real estate market, where people now are not selling because they got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It isn't that there aren't buyers. There's plenty of buyers, and they are doing deals like you ain't never seen before. So you got to protect your assets once you make these deals. Not everybody is as lucky as you that you found a place to go. It's really difficult right now to do that. But he should do a seminar with all this information, because I know a ton of people that aren't selling because they really don't know the ramifications of what do you do with the excess money. What do you do with it? What do you do with that and death and everything else? And I think it's a real important time. There's a small window right now for him to do
It's true. It's a great idea.
some teaching. So I think I would attend.
It's a great idea to give that information over a 30-minute or an hour. What do you do with the money? How do you invest it? And this is the conversation that we've been having, because you have this money and then you want to make sure it's creditor proof if possible, right?
Yeah.
From the situation.
Well, one of the things people always, it's a common for people to worry about. It's my homestead, it's protected, but what if I sell it? So Florida has, there's cases where someone sold their home, they put it into an account, and while they were waiting to buy their new home, they got sued. The money was still protected because they had an intent to use that money to buy a new homestead property. But there is a time limit on it. You can't just sit on it for 10 years and you're like, I'm waiting to find the right homestead. No, but while you're waiting to buy a new house, just keep that money separate. Don't invest it. But it's still protected when you sell your homestead and you're waiting to buy a new one. So it's fine there. But are you talking about, you sell your property for $1 million, but you're not trying to buy another $1 million property? What do you do with that other $500,000? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, there's a lot of different investment vehicles that you can look at. But yeah, I think the most common is probably looking at rental properties and setting up an LLC, and it's protected that way. With you get some protection from creditors through that.
It's very interesting. Now, can you set up an investment account or a trust as the LLC ownership?
Yeah. So, I'll have clients come to me and I set up their LLC, give them all the documents, and they just go to the bank and set up an account in the business name where they're the manager of that account. But, also when I create trust for clients, they just take the trust document or a certificate to the bank, setting up the bank account as the trustee.
It's a lot, so much information that it's a great idea to have a seminar. Diane actually says hi from HHK. Diane, we got to meet you for sure.
It's a smart way to do it if you're going to take that road. At least you know your pluses, your minuses, things of that nature. And you get to a certain age when you have to start worrying about your grandkids and your sons and your daughters. In Puerto Rico, it happens automatically. It goes to the heirs.
Yeah.
But how you set it up is the part that my parents didn't understand. And if you don't do it right, I'm going to tell you, what you don't know can be awfully painful. And that's the deal. And then the way the courts are right now, nobody's even working over there. It's a cluster. And so it's best to be informed of your position and all the information, and going to one source. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what this guy was, but in the day, I used to own 50 properties in New York, though, not Florida. I couldn't do it down here. This drove me crazy with the laws down here. But in New York, it was really, really simple, and I had a team of people that would advise me. And every day I had to figure out, okay, I'm going to listen to him today and listen to her today and listen to him today, because everybody had a different input to where they wanted to go with this thing. So convenience in one person, and he's very knowledgeable. Listen, if you're getting into the game, this is the man you want to come see.
It's really interesting, and I've learned that having the right team in place is so important, because as difficult as last week and all this has been, we have a great team of people that we work with, an incredible network that I know I can call this one for this and this one for that, and know I'm getting the best information. If people would watch our show, you would see the most amazing information that you get here. And the fact that you've got your LLM and your Esquire all in one, my gosh, it's like you don't have to say, well, the attorney says, I think this works, but you really got to check with your accountant. Not that you're going to be doing my taxes, but you know the tax law.
Right.
And it fits in.
And that's what's remarkable.
It fits in.
And the dynasty tax, so say your parents have under 11.7 million, but they want to leave it to their heirs.
Yeah.
Is it best to put it in a revocable trust or a dynasty trust?
Well, so the revocable trust is basically your own personal trust, your own personal piggy bank. You can change it at any time. And you can either set up a dynasty trust through your revocable trust or your will. You can kind of think of your will and your trust being somewhat interchangeable because they complement each other. But basically, you can set up a dynasty trust either way. You just want to have somewhere in your documents that, when I die, I want my money to be spread out among my children, and it's going to be held in trust for their benefit with, discretionary income for their health, education, maintenance, and support, or whatever else they need. And then you can name them as their own trustees, and it's still protected from creditors. So it's a real benefit. It's basically the same as giving it to them outright, except now they have creditor protection, and they just have to. The only added hiccup is they have to file a income tax return for the trust every year.
But your accountant assumingly would take care of all of
Yeah.
that for. As long as you've got a great team in place, that's what's most important. To know that your assets, all the family money, everything everyone's worked so hard for is protected, and it just doesn't go or end up in probate or end up in litigation where the only people making money, no offense, is your attorney, right? If you're
Yeah.
earning the money, you want your family to have that money that you've earned.
True that. True that. A little bit of knowledge can be very powerful, and it helps you make decisions in the future, as well as taking care of the people that you're gonna, leave things to. So,
I have one more question before we
Yeah.
go to commercial break. What do you love so much about doing what you do? Like, you're young to be
Yeah.
doing all of this work. What was your passion to getting into all of this?
I think mainly just giving people peace of mind. I have a lot of friends that do litigation, and it's just very tense for a lot of it. And I feel like estate planning is very relaxed, and it's more about building a relationship with the client and getting to know them. And like you said, Freddie, it's all about knowledge is the best thing. And if I have complete knowledge about your family and how it operates, then I can choose the best plan for you or recommend the best plan for you. And seeing my clients being relieved, knowing that everything is going to be taken care of when they die, it gives me satisfaction.
It's amazing. Food
Yeah.
for thought. What's the best way for people to contact you?
They can either email me at jmooney@hhk.com, or our office direct line is 561-276-1008.
Amazing. We should definitely talk about doing a seminar, maybe putting it
I-
on the
I
radio,
definitely- yes.
doing whatever we can do
I
to get
think
the
it would be
information
very
out.
valuable. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. I think that you can, especially with what's going on around us and everything else. And there's some people also in the mortgage business that we spoke to today that should talk to him, because
Things are changing.
things are changing, and the value of homes are changing. All of a sudden, it's not so unusual to be selling $1 million homes right now.
But now I see this bubble, and you may know better. It's coming down a little bit. There's more. New York isn't flocking down here. Kids are in school now. That everyone's a little more settled. The monies that houses were selling for isn't quite as quick to go.
Yeah, everyone's saying, all the experts are saying we're seeing a cooling. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
COVID has really made everything very unpredictable.
Yeah.
Everyone says it's cooling, but who knows? Maybe things will change in 2022, which is crazy that it's 2 months away now.
I think that what's happening is that everybody up north is now making their way down here to the properties they purchased.
Yeah.
My neighbors just moved in yesterday, and they bought the house 3 months ago. And I think that what's cooling is presence. But I think that if you wanted to do a good deal right now and buy a piece of property, it's going to go like this. Pick up that phone call and say, do you have a buyer? And I guarantee you, there are buyers waiting.
Absolutely. Justin, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
We're going to go to commercial break. You are welcome to stay. Then we're heading over the pond to Manchester to Matchmaker.uk
The
with
UK
Laura.
Matchmaker.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Cuando te quise a ti, tú me dejaste ir. No puedo ser tu amiga. No importa lo que digas.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
Watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Tú quieres ser mi amigo. No puedo estar contigo. Porque cuando te vi, mi pobre corazón.
So they set it up and we can change the name on it. You know we were back on? If you play Hallelujah like I'm out. Mary, did you know?
I love that song. That is a very powerful Latino music.
Ebony Diaz.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we have been putting more music beds of people that we're doing business with, singers and things, and we're asking for more because we're going to change things up a little bit and put musics in between so we don't bore you all the time. I don't know, am I flustering?
Are you flustering?
Yeah.
You're like Santa Claus slash Joseph slash
This is
Moses.
very itchy. So
Say
let's
hi
get
to
Laura.
Charlotte.
Let's get Miss Charlotte.
Oh, we have to give Justin movie tickets. We'll have to come back and get them.
You have to get them.
But we'll see him on Tuesday. He's going to live with us next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. The information Justin has is just tremendous, and I can tell you firsthand that we call this person, and then I text Justin. So Justin is definitely the person to go to.
tonight at 7 o'clock, if you call the radio station, you have a chance to win this game, the 2020 game board.
I wonder if there's anything on dating inside,
I don't know.
matchmaking, online
But
dating.
we should get like a card with a heart from the UK lady
Let's do it.
and put it in this game.
We're going to head over to our Manchester correspondent. We've got Matchmaker.uk Lara Besbrode joining us, and she's actually in the works of matching one of our former guests from
So
last
I
week,
heard.
which is really pretty cool.
No, it ain't
Well,
you,
you're going to
Slick.
get you out here.
We'll
We're
get you
gonna
out
use
here.
that
You'll be next. Let's see if she can hook you
So
up.
let's head over to Manchester.
Buckle up with amp2.tv as we hop over the pond to visit your favorite Manchester personality. We've just touched down. We hope you enjoyed your flight and enjoy the show.
She is.
How are you doing?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Happy Tuesday to you.
So can you hear me a little bit better this week?
Do you hear us?
I can
you hear us?
you. I can hear you guys. And I'm a little bit confused because I've missed the brief on your earlier show. So who are you representing?
What do you think?
Who does she look like?
Okay. Can I have like a multiple choice?
Yes. Right now we're on 2. Virgin
Okay.
Mary, Mother Teresa.
Oh, okay. Virgin Mary, Mother Teresa.
I'm going to give you a hint. I'm Peter.
I thought you were Joseph.
Okay.
I mean Joseph.
He doesn't even know who he is.
I'm one of them guys.
Peter Paul. Oh, he
You're
could be Paul. He could
Joseph.
be Peter
Are you
Paul
not
and Mary.
I'm one of the Beatles.
How are you doing?
Have you guys been drinking any pumpkin cocktails by any chance?
Clearly no, but today is National Pumpkin Day over here in the United States.
We
There
have-
you have it.
We have a bunch of producers that have a very certain type of personality. And they have decided for us to celebrate Halloween all week. So this is today's theme. Tomorrow is another theme. Thursday and Friday. Thank God this week is over, because Halloween is on Sunday. So there isn't
I can see. I can see your resemblance to something scary, maybe.
You're scary today.
No, I'm not scary. I'm just actually I was going to be a judge in your country with this wig.
He wanted to be a, oh my goodness, what's it called? She was there.
A legal guy. What is that?
Not a Tory.
A barrister.
A barrister.
You wanted to be a barrister. Okay, so I think that what I meant by scary was scary concepts. Because I think that, to me, it's definitely mixed messages going on. And I feel that there's definitely a very interesting vibe coming over the pond, shall we say.
Yes, scary concept. So I understand we have to get into the matchmaking, matchmaker.uk. I hear you're sort of in negotiations with a guest of ours.
Yeah, so it's the matchmaker.uk. I don't want anybody going and looking at my competitors. So
the
we
matchmaker.uk.
are
It says
the matchmaker.uk. Absolutely. So yes, you set me a challenge, and I rose to it quite quickly. We had a look at some fantastic ladies that we thought might be suited to Michael, and I found a wonderful young lady in her 20s. Name. Okay, we'll call her Sally, so that we don't give away her name.
All right, we'll
on
call
TV,
her Sally.
She is actually an established actor. She's recently been on a movie in the cinemas. She's mid-20s. She fitted all of his brief that he very quickly gave us. And I called her straight off. I actually messaged her during the show. Called her and gave him her details. And I understand that they are communicating by email.
Wow. So they're having like this whole internet conversation?
It's just started, and I'm hoping that he invites her over to Miami and that we can maybe follow the story.
Wow. That would be amazing. How cool would that be? Like a one-time, first-time charm.
I got to see how this works. Because
Yes,
I don't know
tried
her,
to get,
but I sort
but
of
you
know
him. So I can tell you a little bit about her. She is amazing. She is an accomplished actress, has been acting since she was 10. She is approximately 5'4". She has long blonde, naturally curly hair, an incredible physique. She's super intelligent.
Slick, you gotta
and
turn
a
down the
great
speaker, it's
sense of humor.
vibrating.
Wow. Let me take. It'll be interesting. Slick
So-
wants to know what about him, though.
Yeah, so I didn't, it was really hard for me to hear about
And turn off the
Slick.
fan.
So I found it a little bit tricky to hear too much about him. But I had really good, a lot of people who watched the show reel back, I had a lot of ladies showing a lot of interest in Slick. So I'm following that up at the moment. A lot of them seem to be older, and I was sure that he had said to me that he didn't mind a lady older than himself. So maybe he can update me on that.
Slick.
Slick, do you mind a lady older than you? Would you date an older woman?
I mean, I did.
You did.
Talk it to the mic so
Would
she
you
can hear
again?
Me,
You. There's no one else here.
yeah, I would, but I don't think my mic is on. I don't think he can
I can hear him a little bit.
He's gonna go turn his mic on and come out.
He said the older the better.
The older the better. So we've
Yeah.
got Halloween weekend coming up, and
Correct.
we've been arranging quite a lot of introductions so that they're actually having their first date this weekend. So we follow the whole American concept of trick-or-treating. Last year it was a little bit strange because of the coronavirus and we were all in lockdown, and we're really interested to be able to have people going out on dates. So you can imagine your first dates, and I think it will be quite telling for each other in the couple as to how they arrange, how they behave on this first date. Do they run up to the house, grab all the candy and keep it for themselves? Do they dress up in something really cool? Do they dress up in something really ridiculous? Do they meet beforehand and go for dinner? What we've got going on is we are arranging pumpkin cocktails for them. So we've got little flasks going out on the dates with them with like an unknown cocktail. So just to add a little bit of pizzazz while they go out on their dates all over the UK. Literally, we've got couples going out in Manchester, in London. We've got some in Cheshire. Let me just look at the list. Yeah, we've got one going on in Liverpool. We've got one going on up in Glasgow. So I've got ambassadors in each of these areas who are dropping off little cocktail shakers. Maybe it's something you can do on your show as well. Maybe we can match a couple right now and get them on a date so that they can have a wacky cocktail and a Halloween date this weekend.
Do you work with all ages for matchmaking, or do you have a key demographic?
I would say, we started around 25. It's just purely, where people get in contact with us. Our youngest client is 25 and our oldest is 81. And really, the general age seems to be sort of 30 to 45 market, and the 45 to 60 market is our sort of general everyday bread and butter, as we like to call it. And we get requests. I don't know if you call it that. Do you call it your bread and butter?
Can you imagine
Is that
your
like a real
first date
English
being
thing?
Halloween, and you can go like this, but people don't really know what you look like? So all these
You
first
could wear a
dates, are they
mask,
going in
yeah.
costume?
It's completely up to them, but the brief is that they're going on their first date. It's a Halloween date, and they've got to make an effort. Some people aren't really into it, some people are, but we've sort of said that for this first date this weekend, we would like them to get involved, for them to be able to receive, their cocktail shakers and our participation in supporting them.
Pumpkin cocktail.
Now I have somebody sent me a text last week when you were on, and they wanted to know if people really want to meet people right now. So that's going for you. You want to meet somebody,
is a
boom,
really-
boom, boom. And then they have
That
this
is-
high
yeah.
expectation,
Sorry.
and it doesn't work out because it's like the dud that went like this.
Like a bad firework?
Because they have such wanting to meet people.
Yeah, yeah.
Too many
So managing
expectations.
expectations, managing expectations is a really important part of the dating journey, and it's certainly something that when you're on your own, doing it on your own, it can be a real high, and then there can be an anticlimax. And so I just got a text this morning from a client who was going on her date 2 tomorrow night. We introduced them at the beginning of October, and because of their work schedules, they had their first date around about the 10th of October. And I presumed that date 2 had already happened. And I am in regular contact with my clients as they go through that process. So we tend to handhold through to date 3. And then after date 3, we say, okay, guys, you've met each other 3 times now and you're on your own. So the idea being that through that process, if they feel that the communication isn't right, he or she is texting too much and they are a busy person and don't want constant texts, or if they are under communicating and the client would like more communication, again, we'll speak to both sides and be able to support that. And exactly as you've said, what happens if they've been on the first day, it was a brilliant match, and they're not sure if they're feeling it again? It's really important for communication. So of course, that's where it's great to have a matchmaker in, or a relationship coach or a dating coach who can offer you that hand-holding and expertise, but also how to counter that feeling if you met them and didn't really feel that instant chemistry, or you didn't feel a sexual sort of buzz, or maybe you really fancied them and you didn't pick up that they felt the same about you. So we're on hand to deal with that. And of course, we handhold until date 3.
Who pays for the first date?
I'm really old-fashioned, and I have a conversation with every client, male and female, and I like to feel that ultimately he will pay for it, but I like her to offer. If it's the same-sex couple going, again, I have a conversation with them to see who maybe feels that they want to go to offer, or if they both want to offer to pay. We're in 2021, it should be an equal split. And so would it be that they both offer and one of them chooses to pick up the tab? At the end of the day, the first date, you're setting the bar, you're showing them all you've got, who you are as a person. You want to get as much out as to what they're going to expect in the relationship going forward. So we always say to our clients, use this as an opportunity to be generous. Use this as an opportunity to make the other person feel special. If she is a single mom and she works really hard, juggling 3 jobs and hasn't been on a date for a while, make her feel special. If he is a widow and he hasn't been on a date for a long time, and the last date was with his absolute soulmate who he loved and who was snatched from him, I say to her, really, really make him feel special, and offer to pay. He may reject that offer, she may reject that offer, but it's all about showing the best version of yourself. And if that means, does he pay, she pay, they pay, it's about what your ultimate objective is. And of course your ultimate objective is going to be, you want to see them again. So step out of your comfort zone, reach into your pocket, get that purse out, get that wallet out, splash the cash.
And you work with everyday people, not just movie stars, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So of course we've got celebrities on our books, and movie stars and actors and actresses and professional people at the top of the food chain. But we do work with everyday, hardworking business owners, entrepreneurs, people who have maybe inherited, people who have divorced well. Obviously it costs to work with a matchmaker, but we do work with everyday people.
Do you have to ever tone down somebody? Like you meet a guy and he's like Mr. Three Finger Finale is what they call him, because he thinks he's all that, and he's snapping and going, and every line is another line, it's a sexual kind of deal. And do you sort of reel that in and tell us, this is a new game in town, let me explain to you what's going on? Do you do that?
That comes under date coaching. And just like you have media training, then, you can imagine the parallel universe in date coaching. And, we have scenarios. I mean, I in particular will do a lot of work with a client, but we also work with a sort of an expert team who specialize in all aspects. And again, it's picking up that it could be a person's insecurity as to why they behave like that. They could have past traumatic experiences as to why they put on this persona that's perhaps not that attractive to the opposite sex, or if it's same sex, where we're dealing with somebody who, they're constantly over talking, or they may not understand personal body space and boundaries, and I'll get a phone call the next day where, a client will say to me, loved that person that I met, but my goodness me, any opportunity to touch me in the date, their hands were all over me. And I have had to have those conversations about inappropriate touching, or uninvited touching, as we call it, where remember, there's two sides to every story. He might say to me, well, what do you mean I was all over her? She kissed me within 2 minutes of meeting her. So it's all about listening to both sides of the story after the date. But before the date, often, we'll talk through with a client, when was the last time you were in a relationship? When was the last time you had sex? When was the last time you were in love? When was the last time you had a decent date?
Wow, so much information that you don't even think about, but you have to.
It's scary, because if you get somebody, man or female, that have money, that's a whole different animal, because you sort of have to look at, do they want me? Do they want the money? Do you give them all the ins and outs before they meet, whether they have money or not? Or do you let that play out as it goes along?
Well, I think that the kind of clients that we work with are all established and successful themselves, and we wouldn't be good matchmakers, and this is sort of across the board. The idea is that you're looking for people with matching aspirations, lifestyle, etc. So the question of what happens if none of my clients will come to me looking for someone with money. They are established, successful, or in their careers already. Even my 25-year-olds who are coming to me are at a particular stage in their journey, whether they've come out of medical school or they're new lawyers, etc. So it would be remiss of me and the agency for us to have a look at that person's lifestyle, aspiration, income, occupation, and then think about even matching them with somebody who just was not matched on all different levels. So it's not as simple as, he wants money, she's got money, should we put them together? There's many, many layers. I mean, we do a 30-point preference match on every single person. So for example, I just had a client call me, he's what we call high net worth, he's worth millions. Without going into too much detail about him, he's 60 years old, and he has a particular preference type. He likes a certain type of educational background, and he just said to me earlier, I hope you don't think I'm only interested in 45-year-old bimbos, which I don't know if you use that word, bimbo being, maybe somebody who is only interested in his bank balance. And of course, we actually laughed at that, because of course, if it was all that shallow, of course we don't match like that. We're sending really high caliber potential clients to him, which he's aware of, but he's also not a particularly tall man. And, I have to remind that gentleman that it's not about bank balance. It's about, perhaps you're not tall enough. We talked about the other week, he's a bald-headed gentleman. He's carrying a little bit of extra baggage around his tummy, for want of a better word. And so the dynamics are not quite as straightforward as, oh, wait a minute, you've got loads of money and therefore you should be with people, because we're talking about people finding that person attractive for his humor, his looks, his lifestyle, and so on and so forth. So yes, it's a very interesting job that we all do, and obviously I love it and I'm very passionate. A lot of it comes down to my own sort of sixth sense, because a lot of us matchmakers say that to be able to successfully match, you've got to be able to have that sixth sense. And you know yourselves that there's that person that's able to make a connection between other people, whether it be a business connection, a love connection, because they just know people. And I'm one of those people,
like,
you know,
if
I'm a very
maybe you went back to like what your past life, like maybe you did this like back in the day in Poland or in Russia or wherever, you're like, this is what you did for a living and here it comes forward in the next lifetime. It'd be kind of cool.
Listen, you know, in my
sixth sense.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I always say, in my previous life or in my next life, I'd kind of like to come back as a man, because I want to know what that feels like. But yes, certainly in my previous life, I could have been a yenta or a matchmaker. But I definitely think that you've got to love working with people to work in this business, like you guys both do.
We love what we do. What's the best way for people to contact you?
I would love them to get in touch via your show, and they can get in touch with me on the internet by www.thematchmaker.uk, and it's the same handle across all social media.
Oh my gosh, this is so great. And Miss Lara will work with clients around the world. She is certified to work with global clients. And you know what?
We
the power
sure do.
of an airplane is pretty amazing right now. So that's fantastic. Check out thematchmaker.uk. Tell her you saw it right here at the Brooklyn Cafe Show and find your next perfect match. Lara, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great night. Stay safe.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, it's we didn't tell her that we are working with a company in Europe that we're going to stream together somehow. We have to make heads or tails on that, but I got to tell you, she covers all the bases.
She's looking for someone for Slick. Slick, are you interested in finding love in all the right places? We gotta get Slick into the right places. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, it's all about the butter. We've got Torrye Wells joining us from Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I got a question. If I
No puedo estar contigo, porque cuando te di mi pobre corazón, tú lo dejaste ir. Cuando llamaste ayer, la voz de una mujer.
Try your very own Brooklyn Cafe Show coffee, the official coffee of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. You can pick up a bag from us, or two. Contact us at 866-224-5422, or just stop on by. We're at 2400 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard, Suite 13. Come on in, grab a bag of our signature Brooklyn Cafe coffee. The cafe doors are always open.
Welcome to Mini Donut World, where the donuts are hot, fresh, and delicious, made to order and customizable by you. Gourmet specialty flavors such as apple pie, French toast, campfire, and strawberry cheesecake are always popular. Looking to tailor your appetite? Build your own mini donuts. Choose from over 18 flavored donut bases, add on your icing flavor, and choose from over 15 toppings and drizzles. While kids enjoy our design your own kits to take home, our 21 and over customers love our alcohol-infused donuts. Come visit Mini Donut World at 8763 Sterling Road in Cooper City. Have questions or want to place an order? Give us a call at 954-369-2301. We know you will love each bite of our deliciously distinctive mini donuts.
With enough butter, anything is good. Torrye Wells from Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods thinks so, because she single-handedly updated and expanded butter's possibilities. From compound, savory, sweet, and spicy, her freshly made butters aim to please. I don't know about you, but I've never really seen butter this versatile before, and now so feasible. With online shopping, just visit Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods.com, because at Precious Treasures, Torrye is working on the best artisan gourmet foods to every table. Remember, guys, true love is like butter. There's no substitute for the real thing.
Watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Y tú no sabes el dolor que llevo dentro del corazón.
You're very calm. I don't know. Maybe this costume isn't good for you.
Why?
Why? Because you're very mellow. You're not like crazy.
Well, you know, you have me in slick shock today.
Why?
I don't know. Let Slicker tell you. And I can't move around too much with this beard.
It's the beard. Well, I
It's
don't
in
know how
my
you're going to
nose.
eat the butter.
It's in my face. It's everywhere. I'm going to take it off. That's how I'm going to eat the butter.
I don't know how you're going to eat the butter, but it'll be interesting.
The butter.
It's going to be a mess. Well, we got Torrye Wells joining us from Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods, and it's exciting because we need to tell her what's happening on this side of Florida.
I know. Is she on? All right, let's bring her over.
Let's bring her over. It's time to have some lunchtime at the cafe, some butter.
Butter.
Hi
There
guys,
she is.
how are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are great. We've got the last of our butter here.
Oh,
We've got
wow,
the
you
Steakhouse
stretched
Cowboy.
it a long ways. I'm so proud of you guys. Wow.
The Steakhouse Cowboy. Would you like some?
I don't think Freddie can turn
That
it
might
down.
be the
I
garlic.
think that's his favorite, right?
I think this is the garlic and herb.
Slick is laughing.
This one is not. Maybe this is Steakhouse. It's got a bite to it. He's got to take his beard off.
I see Joseph. I see you, Joseph. You gotta remove your beard.
Torrye, this butter is so good. We eat it sparingly because last time we used it as a dip, which was not such a good idea.
We ate too much of it.
Well,
this is the garlic.
Is this the garlic or the Steakhouse?
Garlic.
I did a party for
That's
a young
good.
lady last week.
Just keep eating.
And I made some small ones for her. And unfortunately, they were bite sized. And so a lady was going in on them like they were like little dips.
Because
Just
it
eating the whole
spreads like
little...
a dip. It tastes as good as a dip. And then you eat it all and you go, that was butter that I just ate all this butter. Am I
She
right?
said she thought they were the lady thought they were chocolates, and so she just downed the whole little self-serving size. She just downed the whole thing. She thought they were chocolates. I was like, oh my.
Here's the Steakhouse Cowboy. These are so great though. We've been working with this new company that I introduced you to, a mom and a daughter. They have an Hispanic catering company, and they were looking for cinnamon butter. She loves to bake. And she hasn't been able to find a really good one. So I introduced you to Ashley from Lilo's Cafe. So I hope something can come from that.
I hope so too, and I thank you, Don. You're always pushing the butters, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I can't wait to work with them, and hopefully we can come up with a nice, blend of flavors that'll go good with their menu and their cafe.
I never knew you could do so much with butter. Did you?
I put it on Doritos.
With your tuna
You
fish?
ate it like a dip.
Like a dip. You put this with Doritos. Try it. Don't laugh.
Put it with
They
Doritos.
laugh. Why are you laughing? It is unbelievable with Doritos. It is spectacular. So I go to the movie theater. I take it with me. And I have the big bag of Doritos. So Rochelle tells me, what are you doing? And I says, I'm going to have my dip. And she tried one. She says, oh my God. It is unbelievable.
You want to tell her
is
who we met
amazing.
this weekend?
Oh, who did you guys meet? I'm excited.
Okay.
We got to tell her we met her.
Renee was over here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I haven't let the cat out of the bag yet because we're in the process. We are working on doing a huge event, which you will be here present. It's in one of the West Palm Beach, all the way down to the Keys. It depends on which one of 3 events.
Okay.
And if everything goes according to plan, it's going to make the one over in Tropicana seem like kindergarten.
Or at least
Oh,
be
wow.
trying to reach that one.
No, it's going to be bigger
Bigger
than that one.
one. Would you come over to this side of Florida? You would.
Oh, you got to come.
I gotta come. Oh my gosh.
And
Renee's
it's,
the reason for the season, right? So
Yes,
if it
for
had not been
Christmas.
for Renee's market, I wouldn't even be a part of the Brooklyn Cafe show. So I must come. Oh my.
Well, we're going to have a booth there, and we're going to be doing shows. We're working on booze and working butter. I mean, a lot of people, and it's not even announced yet, want to join this thing. So I
that
think
is
it's going to be tremendous.
I'm looking at the whole outfit, sorry. Double door.
I love it.
They love to laugh at me.
He makes it so much fun, Tori.
I know, right?
Don't be
Joseph,
dwarf.
right? You're Joseph,
I'm Harry Potter.
right?
Hey,
The wizard.
hey, hey. But anyway, do you have any new recipes that you've done with your butter that you
good
can
idea.
share?
Well, I can share with you guys what it's going to look like if someone orders a box for the holidays, because I have created this lovely box
Wow.
that
Holy
you'll
smokes.
get the butters, you'll get the recipe in there, and I think that this will make a grand holiday gift. So you'll get 3 butters, you'll get the recipe, and you'll get it in this lovely box containing the temperature controlled bag, next day air shipping. It should be a great holiday gift.
Can we use it for
So-
Thanksgiving and Christmas, or not for until Christmas?
I think if folks get me in time, they can get it for Thanksgiving, but I need those orders for Thanksgiving like in the next week, so that I can prepare the butters of their choosing. And then, well, I have the butters for Thanksgiving if they want them, but sometimes folks want to come off, do it a little bit different, which is fine. They just need to let me know what they would prefer. My suggestions is obviously maitre d' herb, because it's the herb butter. I would suggest pumpkin and pecan because it's the sweet butter. And then, of course, the walnut and cranberry also. I think the cranberries go good with this type of season, right? Thanksgiving. So a lot of cranberries are being used at this time, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for folks to try the walnut and cranberry. So we're giving away that savory. We're giving away those 2 sweets in the box, coming in the controlled temperature bag, and shipping next day. So they need to get their orders in like immediately if they want to do Thanksgiving. The box is actually for Christmas, but we can do what folks want to do. I'm open. I'm saying yes to everything.
Well, I'm going to send a box of Thanksgiving butter to my son and his girlfriend in D.C. because we're going for Thanksgiving. So I thought it would be great for them to cook. Because I don't cook. I told them
Yes,
I'll
that
send
sounds
them
like a great
things.
idea.
So
you should tell
what
me.
recipe card is going to be with it?
Well, okay, so for Thanksgiving, I was thinking with the maitre d' herb, you'd want to baste your turkey with your maitre d' herb butter. So that's a good one. And then, of course, there's the pecan and pumpkin, which is good on your sweet potatoes or butternut squash for those folks that are having that. And then if you have cornbread or you're doing some sort of bread, I'm thinking that walnut cranberry is the one to have. So those 3 flavors are coming in our Thanksgiving holiday boxes.
And how much is that box?
That box is only $40 plus shipping and handling.
Really?
I gotta
That's
send
it.
I gotta send it to my sister Mimi.
Yes.
She's gonna
So you
flip
guys
over
should, you
this.
should shoot me with you should shoot me the addresses so I can get the boxes out so folks can have it. With the mail, I am so uncertain these days. They have so much going on right now with our mailing system. I'm afraid that people aren't going to get things in time. So if you give me the orders now, we can get it shipped. Butters last about 3 weeks in your refrigerator. They last about 3 months in your freezer. And as you guys well know, you've had butter. You've had it for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's still grand as it was the day I sent it.
It is. We've had it for at least 3 weeks.
And I'm gonna tell you, it tastes good as the first day we
He's
got
looking for more down here. I still have one I haven't opened yet. This is the steakhouse. So we got one more, and then we have to get a whole new shipment in Friday for next week to kick off our Thanksgiving. After Halloween, we got to kick off Thanksgiving somehow.
Well, we are also in the process of starting a Latino-based cooking show. And we have to work the logistics with her because her and her daughter work. But they are madly in love with this thing, and they want to try different recipes. And then Gio, my son, got involved. He's the one that told me, try it with Doritos. It's called the what if concept.
You know,
What if you
Gio
try
is
this
my
and this
biggest
and see what you
fan.
got?
I had Gio trying all kinds of butters when he was at the market, and he just fell in love. So that's why he's telling you to try it on all that different stuff. How cool is that?
He took your picture and sent it to me. It says, you got to call this lady ASAP. And it was because of the butter.
The butter, but I love that Thanksgiving box. It's such a great idea. $40.
$40.
Three butters,
You're
a
gonna
recipe
get 3
card.
butters. You're gonna get it coming in the traveling package. You're gonna get a recipe in the box so that you can baste your turkey and whatever meat you're cooking. If you want to do your sweet potatoes or you want to do your breads, it's all gonna be in the box. Box is only $40.
I'm going to send it
Plus
to my
shipping and
sister in New
handling.
York. Yep.
Yes.
She's going to get it.
I think it's a great gift. I think it's a nice, talk about Friendsgiving. That's a great Friends gift to give.
Now, I could send this as a housewarming gift too, right?
Absolutely. Wouldn't that be nice? The housewarming gift with the butters and a recipe, cooking their first meal, using these butters and a recipe. I think it's an excellent idea.
Now,
Housewarming
what would you
gift,
put? What
Christmas
flavors
gift.
would you put in a housewarming box? The same ones?
Well, if they're gonna have a housewarming around Thanksgiving, I would probably put the same ones. But I would suggest that folks go out to the website. I've altered the website just a little bit. I had about 30 butters out there, and I downsized them just a tad. I got rid of some ones that weren't really selling, so I got rid of those. They'll come back later. They just weren't selling right now. I typically change the butters out about every 90 days. I rotate them. I keep the number one sellers out there, but traditionally I will rotate the rest of the butters. And so I say, if you're going to give a housewarming gift, it's kind of like, tell me about your friends. Are they spicy? Are they sweet? Are they savory kind of people? And I would guide you along the way to say, hey, this would go great in your butter box. Because that's what they're called.
Box.
They're going to be butter boxes. The butter boxes are coming. They're coming.
Butter box. Which
yes,
is
the
your
butter boxes
favorite
are
with
coming. Hopefully they will. Oh, seafood. Oh, you got to have Creole or a Moroccan spice or the Cajun. Those are flavors you go good with our seafood, which are out on the website, by the way. Those are still there. Those are top sellers, and so I kind of kept them going. But I will say this: if you give a box to someone, then they should let you know what they tried the butters on, so that it helps give me more ideas to post on the cards. Because on the cards, I will tell you on a card, hey, try me on this, try me on that, try me on that. So when you come up with new ideas to try, like Doritos, I'm gonna have to wind up putting that on the card, Freddie. That was a nice little idea. You're using butter as a dip. I don't know if that's the way to go, but I love that you tried it.
I gotta tell you.
What kind of Doritos did you put it on?
The triangular ones.
They're all triangular.
No, the regular, not the ranch and all that.
Oh, the nacho
Just the
Doritos.
regular.
Orange,
You had nacho Doritos.
Yes, my
Yeah,
hand was
okay.
orange.
Wow.
And it's funny because when you go to a movie theater, hint one, do not open a bag of Doritos because people shush you. You have to pour it into something that doesn't make any noise.
You did not bring Doritos to the movies.
Yeah.
They're so
With the butter.
noisy.
Well, I learned that the hard way. So people screamed at me and says, here, try this. And all of a sudden I had a lot of friends.
I
But
know
I gotta
that's
tell you,
right.
I love the
It's
butter box.
tremendous. I love that. I'm going to send it
So
up to New York,
hopefully
see if Frankie
butter
likes it.
boxes, butter boxes should be coming out hopefully for the beginning of the year, where you'll be able to subscribe for a monthly butter box and you will get a flavor of the month. And we're going to run it for a whole year. I am working on something new right now, a campaign to give away a butter. If you sign up for our butter campaign, you will get a free butter, and all you have to do is pay for shipping and handling. I think it's a great campaign to get the butters out, let people taste them by giving them away. I'm all about giving. And so I feel like I can give you a butter if you pay for your shipping and handling. And then starting January of 2022, you will be able to subscribe to our butter box and get a monthly subscription of butter.
Oh my God, this is amazing. So Thanksgiving butter box, Christmas butter box, and then a monthly subscription butter box. I got gifts to send.
It's all better with the butter.
It's all better with the butter. Awesome.
Everything
Torrye, thank
tastes
you
better
so
with
much.
butter. And remember, butter is food fit for the gods. So everything is better with
I
butter.
never liked butter so much until I had your butter, and now I eat it like a
Well,
dip.
butter never tasted so good. That's the difference.
Right?
Now. I got to tell you, this
Well,
bad
you
boy's
guys,
probably going home with me.
you guys named it right. It's better than butter, right?
It is better than butter. We'll have to get our next shipment in next week and start promoting Thanksgiving and the butters for your boxes.
Sounds good. I like it. I'll send you some new flavors. I'll send you the flavors that we're going to have in the box, of course, so that you guys can taste those, which you've had them already. You've had a pumpkin pecan. You've had, I believe, the maitre d' herb you had. And then, of course, you had the walnuts and cranberry. So those are going to be our Thanksgiving flavors. And then we're going to switch them up a little bit for Christmas. So get your Thanksgiving box. Get your orders in now so they can have it for Thanksgiving dinner. And I look forward to this exciting new adventure with monthly butter box subscriptions.
Oh my goodness.
Did she talk to Rochelle?
I introduced them.
Did you get a chance to talk to Rochelle?
And so I did. And so Rochelle and I are coming in with specific flavors for the popcorn. And I sent her a list of flavors. I am just waiting for her to confirm with me which ones that she wants to use. And then when I come down for the event on the 20th, I will have some boxes with me, and then we'll have the flavors that she's going to serve on top. Those are the flavors that we're going to have for the show and for purchase on the 20th at the Brain Bowl. I can't wait. It's such an exciting event.
I'm excited. We get to meet her in person.
I know, more butter.
More butter.
Butter, butter, butter.
Torrye, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, guys. It was good to see you. I love your costumes, and happy Halloween to you. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Thank you, honey.
Torrye Wells, Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. Get your butter now. Oh my! I'm going to send some over to Erin. I'm going to send some to my sister and Leah. They love to cook. I've been looking to send them something. My sister doesn't. She's my sister, but Leah does.
But the box makes it all a bunch better.
Isn't that nice? When people love to cook, it's a great gift.
I'll tell Frankie to take it to Trader Joe's.
Good idea.
They have a basket that you can put ideas and stuff. And I'm going to tell them, put the whole thing in there, see what they say.
Slick, this would be great for your mom also.
No, because he'll eat it all.
He's so funny. Slick, thank you for running everything today. You did a great job.
He's not bad.
Did a nice job.
I'm still wondering who is that back there behind
Did
the
a
curtain.
nice job. Well, great show, everyone. For estate planning or for probate issues or tax issues, contact Justin Mooney at Hinman, Howard, and Patel. He is a licensed attorney as well as he has his LLM. So he's got all of that information on the tax laws and how to protect your assets. So give him a call. Torrye Wells of Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. And if you are looking for a match around the world, contact thematchmaker.uk, Ms. Lara Besbrode.
Next week, Laura wants to do a puppy dating service deal. Wait till you check
Rent a
this out.
puppy.
She wants Slick to come in with a puppy.
What's better, puppies or babies?
Puppies.
Puppies. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Tomorrow, the News from Midweek Scaries as our Halloween week continues. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tonight, 7
Tonight, 7
o'clock.
o'clock.
Give us a call and win the game.
Bye-bye.
Don't be late.
Well, that's about it for
We
today.
made it.
Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV
Hey, Slick,
to
did you
rewatch
turn up-
every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.